All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pilates for Swarthmore. And we're going to start today laying down on your back. If you have a roller, you can take it lengthways down your spine. If you don't, just laying on your mat would be sufficient. Options here would be to use a ball between your thighs to engage your inner thigh muscles and your low abdominals. You could also use small hand weights to help open up the chest. We do a little chest opening first to begin. And I'm going to start on the roller since I do have one. But like I said, if you don't have one, just go onto the mat and it'll still be useful. Also, when you lay down, if you feel that your head is falling backwards, if when you lay down on your back, your chin is higher than your forehead, you can fold a towel and place it under your head until your forehead and your chin are level. And that'll be more comfortable for your neck and your upper back. So once you find yourself, if you're on the roller, you slide your tail all the way forward, and then you can lower yourself down onto your roller, leaving your head back here, centering your body. And the feet should be about 4 inches apart in line with your hip sockets. From this point, open the arms out to the side and let the fingers reach for the floor. I'm on an elevated surface, so my hands go below, but it's even helpful on a mat. And if you are on the floor and you can reach the arms out long, try to stretch them as far away from your sternum, the center of your chest as you can. And we're going to begin holding the weights if you have them, if you want them. Lifting the arms up as you inhale, you hug the air above you, embrace the air over your body, and then exhale, bring the arms open slowly out and down. Let the fingers reach down and easy for the ground. And inhale, full breath. The arms rise on the inhale. The blades will widen across your back. The chest will narrow. And then as you exhale, pull the arms open slowly out and down. Let the fingers reach long here. And again, inhaling, arms rise. And then exhale, pull the pecs open as the arms reach out sideways, lengthen across the room with the fingertips. One more, coming up with the arms, hug the air in. And then as you exhale, focus on a long, slow exhale and let the length of your exhale match the timing of your movement to the ground. From here, we lift the arms up to the ceiling with straight arms, palms face each other and the fingers reach for the ceiling. As you inhale, shrug the shoulders up to lift the hands straight up into the sky above you. And then as you exhale, slowly release the shoulder blades down. Let your shoulder blades rest on the floor beneath your ribs. Inhaling, arms shrug up. And then exhale and sink down low. And again, rising. They glide up the side of the ribs, the blades do, and then they sink down and around the base of the rib cage and in towards your spine. Let's do it again. This is really helpful because a lot of times when we are stressed, when our posture isn't great from being on the computer, the shoulder blades get stuck in an elevated position up by the ears, but also a little bit forward as our chest narrows with all the work we're doing in front of us. So this helps us move the scapula on the rib cage on our back and release tension out of the shoulders and neck. Now turn the palms forward and you lengthen the arms down and long at your side. Inhale, lift the arms up to 90 degrees and exhale, take them back by your ears, stretch the arms behind you. Reversing the direction, inhale to lift the arms and exhale, bring them down nice and long, stretch them forward towards your heels. And again, the arms rise in unison and exhale, back they go, stretching here. Try to hold the ribs grounded on your surface, lift the arms forward and then exhale, take them down and long. We'll do one more of these, going up with the arms. As the arms go to 90 degrees, the weight of the shoulder blades sink. Reach the arms back. Try to imagine your blades sliding towards your waist. And then bring the arms forward. And exhale, glide them down again at the side of your body. Next, bring your hands to your shoulders. And we pull the elbows in by your waist. Inhale to pick the elbows up. And exhale out wide, around and down. Circle them here. It should feel good in your body. If it bothers your shoulders, go slower, go smaller. Or stop and just repeat one of the earlier exercises. Otherwise, start to feel this. You can lift the shoulder blades. You can open the arms down and around and in. Do one more circle. The arms should be matched, mirror images of each other. And then let's reverse it. Circling down and back, and then forward, up and around. If you do have a roller or a chance to get one, it's a great idea to invest in one. just because you'll find a lot of self-massage exercises and a lot of exercises in Pilates that benefit from the instability of the roller because it wakes up your core and helps your balance improve as well. So if at some point, if you're looking for a nice treat for yourself, it's a small investment, but a good one. And then let's bring the arms forward, lengthen the arms here long at your side, bring the arms up and back by your ears. And then you circle the arms out, around, and forward. And we'll do that again, reaching back. And then circle the arms, really stretch to the fingertips, reach to the arms. I didn't plan this well. I should have put the roller more forward so I wouldn't have to go around the frame of my Cadillac, which is a piece of Pilates equipment. Not the car, obviously. I have a smart car, which is fun instead. So we're going to reverse, taking it back, take the arms up and then push them forward and down. And you can do that again. You take the arms as low and as wide as you can. Think of drawing like snow angel wings in the snow and then press the arms forward and down long at your side. And one more. All this to open the chest and release the neck and the back. And then from here, the arms settle. And if you're on the roller, you can rock a little side to side. But we're going to slide off of that here. Push the roller away. And let's get ready to move into our hundreds position here. So if you come up to sitting, it'll give you the benefit of going down into your upper curl, which is much easier for your neck. So take your hands to the back of your thighs. First sit up tall, perch on your sits bones. There should be a small arch in the mid-back. And then as you look down, you can curve the tail forward and round the low back. The pelvis rotates under the base of the thighs, the femur head. So you're going to bring yourself down to a deep upper up curl and then pull one knee in, hand holds onto the leg to hold you up. The other leg pulls into tabletop legs, press the legs together, and then release the arms forward. We pump the arms, inhaling for 5 beats and exhale for 5 more. That's it. That's good. And you want to keep your gaze fixed on your navel. If you start looking up, your head will fall back and your body will flatten and you won't get the work in the upper abdominals. If it's not enough work for you in your low abs, you would stretch the legs up to the ceiling. If your hamstrings are tight, it's okay to bend your knees. You want to feel that you're getting hopefully some length up through the center of the soles of your feet. And if that's not enough work in the low abs, you gradually lower the legs out until you feel maximum work in the low abdominals. And you only keep going as low as your body can take it. If you start to feel your back arch or your back get worried, you're too low and you'll just lift the legs here. Let's go for a couple more breaths. The legs press in, the edges of the feet push into each other. The thighs reach for each other, even if they don't connect. You imagine that they're squeezing a ball between them, which would be another option if you had one. And come up a little higher for this last breath. Really work into this upper abs. I know you feel it, I do. And then you can fold the knees in and lay your head down. The good thing about Pilates, one of the many good things about Pilates is that there's always modifications here. Bend your knees, let your knees sway to one side, turn your head to the other, come back to center, looking up at the ceiling, and then go to the other side. Anyway, there's always a lot of different modifications and variations you can do so that you can always work at whatever level you're in when you come to your mat, right? If you had a bad night, if you hadn't had a chance to exercise like you normally do, you know, you can still do the exercise. And even as you advance, as you get stronger and more flexible, you're always going to find the workout. Now from here, we're moving into a roll up. So option to use a TheraBand around your feet. It will really help you lift if this is a harder exercise for you. And it'll give you the chance to slow the movement down to really work your spine and your abdominal wall carefully. So we're starting with the legs extended, the arms up to the ceiling. Drop the shoulder blades down, the chest is wide. You can bring the arms back and then start to lift the arms, lift the head. You exhale to peel off the mat, your shoulders falling behind you. Dive forward, the waist pulls back as you bring your head out and forward over your feet. And then we're coming back. Try to push the heels away, roll back. Now the arms go higher if you feel like you can support the weight and control your descent. If you start to lose your control, the arms will go lower, right? Wherever you are, it's perfect. And then take the arms back. And then let's lift again. The people I can see look really good with this. Exhale. If you feel like you need a little assistance, you can bring your hands to your thighs. Or again, like I was saying, use the TheraBand, which would really be able to help you articulate the spine and sequence it up and down in a way that might be more useful for you. So if you're using a band, it goes around the balls of the feet and the arches, and you can pull the elbows back to shorten up the band and straighten the elbows to take tension out of it to lay down. And then coming up, you have the option of pulling into the band. The elbows can go wide and back, and you suck the belly in as you curve over. Hamstring tightness would mean that you would bend your knees as you go forward. All those variations work for different bodies. Just go what works for you. And let's do that once more. Rolling back, going down here easy, melt the spine into the ground, and you lift. The head leads the way up, pulling the neck, the thoracic spine, that's the part with the ribs, pulling the waist back like someone has their arms around you, pulling back onto your waist as you dive forward here, taking a bow deeply over your legs. Go low enough to feel the stretch in your low back and your hamstrings, the back of your thighs. And then let's flow all the way up to sitting. Now, the next exercise we're doing is single leg circle. And this one, it's really beneficial to have the band to get the stretch, so you can, of course, do it without. If you don't have a TheraBand, you can use a belt. You could apparently even use a couple of dog leashes put together. And what we're going to do here is as you lay down onto your back, you can fold one leg in and place the band on the foot. So the band should be across the ball of the foot and the arch. If you have a narrow strap, like for example, if you use a couple of belts, it might not be so wide. But we're going to lift the leg up to the ceiling, pulling the elbows down, holding each end of the band in one hand. And you choke up on the band so that you get some tension for support. You can stretch the leg, or hamstring type people would probably have to have their knee bent a little bit. Either is fine. And then you reach up to the ball of the foot, adjust the strap so it gives you support, and we start with your circles. Inhale, the leg crosses over, the right leg reaches, the right hip stays down. As you circle the leg low and then externally rotate, take it out to the side. The other side of the body stays grounded and steady on your mat, on the floor. So let's do this again. So point and reach. It's a short inhale and then a long exhale all the way around, out to the side, drag it on up, lift it. If your knee is bent at the top, you can start to straighten it as you reach lower. The muscles will allow that. And then as you come around, rotating the leg externally, as you bring it up, you might have to bend the knee to accommodate those hamstrings. But work to feel the stretch in the belly of the muscle so that they gradually start to lengthen with this work. You want to accommodate where you need to, but work it so you get the change. We want a long exhale so you feel the belly deepen, and that helps support your body resting on the ground. Pause here at the top. Let's reverse. Externally rotate the leg, reach it sideways and out, and then sweep it low. Push it forward. It barely just misses. It skims over the other leg, and then you lift it high. The arms are working, right? You're pulling back into the band, and you're pressing the upper arms into the ground. Long, slow circle, bringing that leg up to the ceiling to complete each one. That's when you start your inhale. And then you exhale for 3/4 of the circle if you can. Keep breathing out, 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 out until the leg reaches to the ceiling. So you really feel the abdominal wall contraction. We're gonna go for 2 more here. The leg pushes through the air. If you imagine that you're doing this in water, you can feel like you're just pushing the water aside and just move smoothly through it. No splashing, but feel the weight of the water resisting the movement of your leg. Okay, good. So now from here, we are going to take both ends of the band in your right hand, open the leg out to the side. If you don't have a band, you might just take your right hand under the thigh to help support the weight of the leg. And then we press out with the leg, we push back and down with the left hip. Useful to have your left hand on the left hip bone or on the thigh, pressing them down and away from the right leg's movement out. You can even rock that right leg a little bit towards your shoulder and away, giving it a gentle bounce, just a tiny little slight movement to get the stretch in a couple of different places on those inner thighs. Exhale to lift the leg up to the ceiling. Once it's there, cross it over, you switch hands. So now the left hand is holding the band on the right foot. You extend your right arm out to the side in a T from your body and turn your head to look at that hand. Pull that right leg up as closely as you can to your shoulder, bend the knee if you need to, and see how that stretch feels in the back of the leg. And then we're going to rotate the leg internally. That means the thigh is spinning to pull the knee and the toes towards the floor. Get that stretch. Your hip is off the ground if that works for you. And if not, you can also keep the hip down if that stretch was too intense. You figure out what works for your body today. And now we're going to roll the hip down to lift the foot up to the ceiling. Lift the leg once more, get that nice stretch in the back of the leg. Fold it in and the band comes off. Stretch that leg next to the other one and shake out both legs. Rotate both legs externally. That means the knees are going to point out a little bit, and just enjoy feeling the difference on the right and left side of your body. Wonderful. So now we do the left leg. So let's pull the left knee in. We'll take the center of the band around the ball of the foot and the arch. Lift the leg up. And again, you can do this without the TheraBand. It is a little easier. You get more mobility here with the band. Just first here, let's pull the toes down and lift up through the heel to get the calf stretch. And then point the foot up, reaching softly through the toes. The ball of the foot is what lifts. And the elbows are anchored down, slide them down by your waist. We're circling across the body to the right first. And then exhale, reach low. Externally rotate, pull the leg out to the side, drag it on up, lift it high to the ceiling, and do that again. So we reach and exhale and circle around. The right side of the body stays heavy against the weight of the leg. So you want to anticipate. You think before the leg goes over, I anchor through the opposite side. So now I'm pushing down the right side, and then I'm bringing the leg around and up to the left and high to the ceiling. And again, stretch out into it. Ideally, we'd like to have the wrist straight if you're holding the band, which I may or may not have been doing while I'm talking. So might be a case of maybe do what I say and not what I'm doing. I hope to model good behavior, but it's not always the best. So let's lift up here, come to the top and reverse. Take it out to the side, open the hip, circle low, across the body, lift it up again. It's really nice with the band because you can think of reaching out energetically, pressing into the band so that the circle becomes more like a spiral, moving further and further from the hip as you go. So you're going to reach that leg long and push into the band at the same time as you're pulling your hip down into the ground. Let's go for one last one here. Really enjoy that stretch, that circle, that reach. Pull it across and lift it up to feel that nice stretch in the back of your leg. Okay, and now let's take both ends of the band in your left hand, open the leg out to the left. Give it a little bit of a rock here. So a gentle tug and a release to open across the upper inner thigh. And if you press your right hand down on your right hip, you'll get even a feeling of stretch across the front of the pelvis. And then pick the leg up, use your inner thigh muscle to lift it, switch hands and cross it over. You can peel the hip, the waist, the ribs off, stretch the arm out, and rotate the leg internally. Lift the leg up to the ceiling, and then we fold the knee into your chest. The band comes off. And you want to feel that your legs have now come to a place where both are relaxed, both are longer. You may even feel that your low back has settled into the mat. From here, we're rolling up for rolling like a ball. Pull your right knee into your chest, hold on to your shin, a little easier to hold on to the back of the thigh. Pick up the other leg and lift it to the ceiling, and then we're coming up slowly. So you push the feet away, you lift your head, neck, and shoulders, you exhale, and you rock forward and up. Take your time doing it so you can show control and work from your core. And then we're sitting near the front of the mat. Easiest to take the hands to the back of your thighs, more difficult to the shins. We're going to curl the tail up and do an upper ab curl, rocking forward and down with the gaze, with the shoulders wide, elbows out and wide. Pick your feet up off the floor. And you could hold a ball between your thighs for more connection. We're going to start by lifting the tail to roll back to the shoulder blades, and then exhale, come up and rock forward to your balance point. The gaze is always fixed on the navel so that you are keeping your spine rounded. If you forget and if you look up, what will happen is, I'll demo this one. So if I look up, I get stuck, right? Because my head acted as an anchor and didn't make me into the shape of a ball. So it's super important for the gaze to be in the right spot. So we lift the tail, just change the movement, you roll back. The hips can go pretty high in the air, but you never roll onto your neck. And do two more like this. If you want a more difficult version, just try pulling your elbows to the outside of your knees, fingers reach up, and roll from there. Dive into yourself, pulling yourself up and forward. From here, we move into the ab series. So we'll hold on to the right leg. Right hand goes to the ankle, left hand goes to the right knee. And then we can extend the left leg forward, push it away. And as you roll back slowly, try to work yourself down into your best upper ab curl, gaze fixed on the midline of your body on the navel. Inhale, let's switch the legs. You push one out long and you pull one in tight. As you do this, you're pushing down with your hands and up with your shin into your hands. So your arms actually feel that work. Like you'll actually see like a little bicep engagement, but you should feel particularly that you're engaging into your upper abdominals from the connection from your triceps to your lats, to your serratus, to your external obliques. The legs reach forward and they shoot straight out of the hip socket and then they pull right back in. It's almost mechanical, as if the legs were pistons here in your body. We're going to end with the left knee pulled in tight and then pull the right leg in to meet it. One hand to each shin. Rest your head if you need to. You could also take a ball under the shoulders or the neck. Reach the arms up and the legs up to the ceiling. The arms are apart, the legs are together. Circle the arms wide as you fold your knees into your body. Now, it's a good idea to start with everything vertical and then circle and fold. If you want more work in your abs, you take the arms back a little bit, you take the legs forward a little bit, and then you embrace from there. However, if you fall flat, you've gone too far, right? If people do this, that would be wrong, because even though the stretch might feel good, you've lost the work in your core. So let's do that again. So watch to be sure that you don't go further back with your upper shoulders onto the mat, and also that you don't arch your back with whatever position you take with your limbs. So we're going to reach to your working level and pull it back in. And then everyone rest your head down, lower your toes down, open the arms, and just let your knees swing from one side to the other. Your head turns in the opposite direction. Give your neck a little break in case it needs it, which it might after a couple of weeks off from Pilates class. And then we're coming back up for scissors. So in scissors, you pull the knees in. We can take the right leg up to the ceiling. The left leg reaches forward and pull up into that upper ab curl. You can use your arms as well as your abs. Now we're going to inhale to switch the legs slowly. One reaches long, one reaches high. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, you would bend the knee as you lift it, but you would straighten it as you lower it. Try to reach up as high as you can for the foot, for the ankle, without letting your shoulders come up by your ears. So the arms are reaching, but the blades are still falling behind you towards the ground. And we switch for the inhale, and then we switch for the exhale. We'll end with the left leg up. So looking down at your midline, don't look up at your toes. I know it's tempting. Bring your legs up here. Take your hands behind your head. We pull the skull up and we drop the elbows down and in. Reach your legs forward and then exhale, drag them up. Again, this is heavy, right? The weight of your legs, a third of your body weight. Don't take them past where your abdominals and your psoas muscles deep, your hip flexors can support. So you reach it away, you test it out. You say, okay, that's safe, that's okay. If it doesn't feel good, if your back arches, if you get worried, you've gone too far. Eventually it goes bigger after you practice it, but you would never, ever go lower than your body really can take. And then let's twist to your right, coming up and over and around. You pull the right knee in, you lift off your left shoulder blade, and you come down. And then as we twist to the left, the right shoulder blade comes off the ground, and you pull your chest forward and up on a diagonal to work your oblique abdominals here. Try to come back only to the tip of the shoulder blades. So you're in an upper ab curl with a twist. As you work this, the opposite hip should stay grounded and the leg reaches straight out of the socket. So there's no crazy diagonals with the legs. One pulls straight into your chest, even as it lifts and twists, and the other pushes out and long. Let's do one more set. We're going to twist to the right, and then center and up and twist to the left. Pull everything down and rest. Good. After working those abs so intensely in that exercise, I hope you did, you can stretch the legs out and stretch the arms back. And then we're doing a roll up to come up for a spine stretch. So you lift the arms, you lift the head, the neck, the shoulders, you exhale, and you pull off the ground, opening the legs, scooting yourself back if you need a little more space. And then we bring the arms forward parallel to the ground. Push the arms down as if you're pressing them down onto a tabletop and feel your spine lengthen up into the sky, your chest rise between your arms. And then we look down and dive forward. So you curve your way over, you dive forward, you stretch, the waist sinks back, round your back as much as you need to. Again, tight hamstrings, which are really prominent, particularly, everyone is sitting a lot at their desks now. You would bend your knees, or you could even elevate your hips in this position, sitting on a yoga block, a pillow. Keep going, bend your knees and go as far as you want to. And then start to straighten the legs, and you stack from the low back, the mid back, the upper back, the neck, and the head. And then you're looking straight ahead. I'm turning my head often to look at the screen, and we're going over again. The head leads the way. The shoulders are still relaxed. In fact, they're sliding down your back in your mind, even as the head pulls forward away from your tail. Maybe curl the tail under you a little bit and try to lift your belly off the ground. Let it lift up to create a deeper C curve in your spine. And then we're coming up. You sink your tail into the center of the earth and you rise on top of it. The low back picks you up, then the mid back, then the upper back, finally the neck, and the head floats up so that you can look at the horizon. We'll do one more. Your inhale lets you grow up to a taller position, lift the ribs off the pelvic girdle, and then you look down, exhaling. Over you go. Obviously, if you need another breath, you take it. But if you can, you make one long exhale to really pull the belly deep into your back as you dive forward. And then you can hold onto your legs, hold onto your feet wherever you can. And we're going to just fold the legs in and come a little forward into your tail here. Open leg balance. We're going to do a couple of these in the middle, then we're going to skip to the side leg positions. So rock back here on your sacrum, look down into your belly. And we begin by taking the right leg up and out, reach it high. You straighten the knee if you can, you reach the arm up towards the foot, and then you slowly pull that leg back and down. And then again, left leg extends, reaches up, and then bring it back in, folding it down, pulling the heel connection in towards your tailbone. The spine stays in a curve. You're looking down. I'm not modeling good form because I'm checking to see how you look on the screen. And then the left. Up and out, hold that balance against this asymmetrical work. Connect your heels together to feel that connection, and then both legs go up simultaneously. They stretch. It's more load, but it's symmetrical, so it's both more difficult and easier at the same time. It's just different. And then both legs rise again. Should be a narrow V with the feet just about the width of your shoulders, and then pull it back in. Let's take it up, and then we're rolling back. So extend both legs up. Look down at your core. At open leg rocker, you lift the tail in the air, you roll back, and then exhale and forward to where you started. And then again, never rolling onto the neck, but going high enough to lift the hips. Forward. And then here again, rolling back, head off the ground by looking into your center. And let's do one more like this. Good. And then you can close the legs, bend the knees, tap your toes to the ground. All right, great. So let's turn and lay onto your side for the side kicks. So stretch yourself out. Your spine should be in alignment. So think of your tail in line with the back of your shoulders, in line with the back of your head. If it works for you, you prop yourself up on your elbow. If that bothers your neck, you can always lay the arm out and lay your head on the arm, though it would be best to have like a towel probably between your ear and your arm in that case. In any case, you're going to pull that left arm in towards your body, and you'll pick up your right leg. So we sweep the leg forward, the feet are both flexed. Bring the leg forward, reach out through the heel and pulse 1, 2, point the foot and push the leg back. You can press into your hand in front of your chest as you open the leg and pulse, flexing it forward, reaching out through the tail and the sits bone to feel that stretch in the back of the leg, point the foot and reach long. Now the tendency will be for your body to fall forward as the leg goes back. Try not to do that because then you're just going into like a plank body and you're not getting the opening in the hip. So as the leg flexes forward, you hold yourself back from leaning back. And then as the leg goes back, you prevent yourself from leaning forward. You're trying to get the stretch across the front of the hip here. One more, flexing the foot to glide it forward, double beat. Point the foot and take it back and pulse 1 and 2. come back to center, and we lower the leg. We're going to rotate the leg externally, knee and toes point up, point the foot and lift it high, flex the foot and reach it out and down long. Try to get heel to heel, point and you go up, and flex and you go down. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can take your hands, both hands behind your head. And now reverse, flex and lift the leg, point the foot and press down. Otherwise, the hand is into the ground and you're pushing actively into the whole hand, not just the fingertips. Let's do one more. Flex and bring it up, point and stretch it down. Now for développé, you bend the knee and you slide the knee up to the ceiling as you slide your foot along your bottom leg. Pull the knee into your chest, lift the leg up, flex the foot and push it away. And again, so you pull in, you want to stay balanced on your side seam, lift it up and flex and take it out. That means that the leg is probably not vertical directly up to the ceiling, but on a slight diagonal forward, but you're trying to bring it as vertical as you can without shifting the pelvis back. Now, once the heel touches, we reverse. Go long and lift the heel up, point the foot, bend the knee, tap the toes down to the upper leg, and then slide it forward, skate it out, lengthen, go to a flex foot, and you lift it, point, bend, exhale, pull the head away from your shoulders as you reach the leg away from the hip. And one more, going up, point, bend, and exhale all the way long and down. Stretch it here, and we pick up the leg for rond de jambe. So this will be very hard to do with both hands on your head, alternate position as the arm down here. Take the leg forward, rotate it up, way back behind you. Hold your upper body stable, don't rock it, don't move it, bring that leg through center. And again, you'll find a little more stability by pulling your head in one direction and the leg long in the other. The longer you can make your body, the more stable it will be. And then push the leg here, reach up, out, and away. And then back to center. And now we reverse it. We'll take the leg back, open the hip, lift the leg up, forward, and around. And then it completes the circle and you do it again. Everything that's on the ground should be pushing into it. So that bottom leg is really strong here. Good. It's almost like the kickstand for the movement. All right, wonderful. Now, figure 4, we pick up the knee, we take the foot in front of the opposite hip, and the hand slides between the heel and the upper part of the leg. I push back with my forearm to try to open the knee up a little bit. We're going to lift the bottom leg up and exhale, lower it down, and lift it again and bring it down. One more, bring it high, and then press it to the ground. And then we lift and we hold it and we do 3 circles, nice and smooth, nice and slow. And then we end, we lift it up one last time and we'll bring it on down. All right, let's stretch both legs out and come over onto your stomach here for grasshopper. So you can take your hands, either overlap your hands and rest them under your forehead, or if you prefer, you can take the palms of your hands under your hip bone crest, your thumbs on the top, and the rest of the fingers underneath. So whichever you choose, we'll take the legs into turnout and just try lifting your right leg up as you push the right hip down first, and then bring that down. So you can feel you're activating the glute and the hamstring. So again, as you alternate legs, the left leg lifts, the left hip bone crest pushes down into the floor, and then you bring the leg down. Let's alternate them again once more. So you're going to lift it here. You might feel like a little stretch across the front of the belly, the low pelvis, the work in the glute, and then lower it. And then the left leg once more, pick it up. Think of dropping the tail down so the low back doesn't compress, and then lower that leg. Now we're going to lift up both legs and you tap the heels together. It's a lot of work in the glutes, trying to get the thighs off the ground. You really don't let the knee stay grounded and just bend from the lower leg. This is you're trying to lift the whole thigh off the floor. And then stretch the legs out, lower them down, and we sit back in a little quick child's pose. So you bring your hips back, you stretch your arms forward, your heel drops down. You can rest your hairline on the ground, stretching out your back, breathing into it wherever it might feel tight. And then to stack your spine up, we start from the bottom. So imagine someone has their hand on the back of your sacrum and they're pressing it down. You curl your tail into the ground, Your hands slide along the mat to you as you pull up from your low back to your waist, to the lower ribs, and then up the rib cage, finally bringing the head up, sitting up tall. So every transition should be just as thoughtfully executed as the exercises themselves. We're going to go to the other side, laying yourself down on your sideline. Check that you've got room, that you're not going to kick anything around you. I know sometimes working at home, we're in kind of tight spaces. So we again check you're in line with your head, shoulders, tailbone, and the legs are forward, maybe at a 30-degree angle. You can press your top hand in front of your chest. If you want it to be on your fist, that's good if you have a wrist issue, or the whole palm flat with a finger spread. Really push into that hand to feel the connection into like your upper rib cage, your upper abdominals. The arm that's supporting you pulls in a little bit so that you're not just collapsed on the floor, but you're working underneath part of the arm. And then we pick the top leg up, flexing the foot. We're going to inhale and swing it forward, reaching back through the tail and the sits bone. So you're not rounding your back like a little shrimp curled up in the pot. You're going to point the foot and take it back, and you reach back here and you open across the hip, double pulse again. The bottom leg stays heavy and both feet stay flexed when the leg is forward. Only the top leg points as you push the leg back. That gives you more length across the front of the hip as well. So flex the top foot, bring it forward, and as you pulse it forward, that gives you a stretch in the calf and the hamstring, but only if you keep the tail and the sits bone back. And then point and take it back, reach it behind you, and open the front of the body again. One more, flexing, drive it forward, and point and push it back. And then come back to center, lower the leg, and we rotate. Externally, point the foot, lift the leg up high, flex the foot, and pull heel to heel, stretch out the leg, point, and you lift and flex, and you close. You imagine like having a TheraBand around your ankles, you'd be stretching it open and then resisting it, snapping shut. Now flex to go up, and point to reach long and away, and flex and lift, and point and stretch it out. Flex and it rises, and point and you stretch it down. Now développé, you bend the knee, you slide the foot in, you pick up the knee, you extend the leg, you flex the foot, and you reach it out long. Feel that stretch, feel that reach across the room. Pull it in, extend it up, flex, and stretch it down. Nice, very deliberate. Good, that looks great. Pull it in, reach, extend, flex, and press it out. Now pull the head away from that leg movement, reverse. Flex and go up, point the foot, bend the knee, bring the toes in as close as you can to the body, and then push the leg away, stretch it long, and flex to bring it high, point, bend, and exhale, down it goes, skim along the bottom leg, skate it away, and lift once more to point, bend, and then stretch it all the way out and forward. Good. And here we're into rond de jambe, the big circles. So really brace yourself in. We take that leg forward, bring it up, around, back, and through center. And again, the alternate, more difficult position is both hands holding the back of your head. And then with that, you can actually pull the head and the neck a little bit longer, finding a little tractioning. As you're reaching out with the leg, you're also pulling your spine into more length. Let's reverse this. Take the leg back, spiral up, forward, around, and through center. Hold the body quiet and calm on its side line. It's hard, right? Because it's hard enough to stabilize your body when you're laying on your back and you've got the width of your back to support you. Here you're just on a couple of inches wide platform. Let's do one more. All right, and then we can fold the knee, pull that foot up and in, and then the bottom leg rises and sinks. We're gonna lift it up, try to pull from the upper inner thigh and not necessarily from the foot. The leg lifts here, and you lower it with control, pick it up and leave it up, and now we circle the leg around and up, 1, and then 2, and then 3, and bring it down and lift it again, and then lower it down. And then we can go ahead and stretch on out. All right, let's come up to sitting. And we're going to use the TheraBands for some work in the upper body today. And if you don't have a TheraBand, you could use hand weights, or if you don't have hand weights or a band, you could use a couple of water bottles, and people even use canned goods, if that's what they have. Does everyone that I can see have a band or weights. Yeah. So what we're doing is you're going to lay the band out in front of you, lengthways here. And then come up to kneel on the band. And then you'll pull the band tight. All right, so you stand on your knees and then you pull your elbows in by your waist. And then from here, you just be sure that the wrists don't extend as you pull the bands up and then slowly bring them down. And again, pulling up here and exhale, releasing it down. Take your time. And again, pulling up here like so, and exhale, down again. And then just one arm. So let's do your right arm, I'll do my left, and you lower it. The trick to using the band and also the weights is you don't want to let gravity or the resistance of the band, the elasticity of the band, lower the arm for you. You want to go slower with that than the band or gravity would like you to. And that way you feel that work as much on the way down as you did on the way up. One more like that. And then the other side, the other arm. And what's really good about this is you can feel your body bracing against the asymmetrical work. So I might feel this in my opposite obliques. Prevent my body from flexing with the movement of my arm. Okay, and then reciprocal, which means that we're going to take one arm up, and as it lowers slowly, the other one is lifting. They pass in sort of mid-stride. Watch that if the band is tight or the weights are heavy, that you're not letting your wrist bend in either direction. I think about maybe having them slightly flexed to prevent it from going into extension. Good. And then we can lower that down. And let's just put the band or the toys aside. So let's sit on one hip. We'll do a little bit of a side bending here. And so I have my heels in towards my hip here. And I'll take my hand on the side with my shins. The hand rests on the shins, and I'll lift the other arm up. And then side bend over, leaning over here, opening the ribs on the top of the body. And then lift to come up. Now you can take both arms out, or you can take both arms up, a little more difficult. And if the arms are up, try to pull your head up between your fingertips. Bring your other hand down to the side, and we slide out onto the elbow away from the heels. And then you drop the head, you lift your waist, you arch the spine here. And then you can press into your bottom arm and you drag yourself up from your oblique abdominals. The arms can lift or be out sideways. And then you lower your hand to your shins and you side bend over. We're looking for the side seam. That's where you want to feel it. There'll be a tendency to try to get more bend by rotating forward, which can feel good depending on where you're tight. But our idea is that we're working right into the sideline. And then come up, lift the arms to wherever height you want, bring your hand down, skate on out to your elbow under your armpit, drop your head in a side curve that stretches out the neck in a side bending, and you press your waist up. And then lifting, pulling up, drag yourself up, feel the work in the abs again, and then one more side bending over, stretching here, reaching. And lift to come up. And last time, we're taking the arm down and going over the head dips first. Opening the body into the side. Now lift the arm straight up to the ceiling, look at it. And then we circle the arm forward and scoop it under the armpit, reach it behind you, look at it, and then let your gaze follow your hand forward, up, and then back. Open the chest, keep your hips stacked. And then you circle the arm forward, around, and underneath you, opening the space between the shoulder blades behind you, and then bring it forward, out and up, and open the chest, look back like so, and one more. And then bring the arm up to the ceiling and side bend over, And then lift to come up. Hand to the legs, side bend in that direction. Coming upright, and we swing the arms to the other side. And with your hand to the shins, pick up the other side arm and take it over, diving over, anchoring down into the hip on the side you're stretching. Bringing it up, arms can extend out, and then you take your hand down and you skate out along the ground, pull the elbow down, side bend, lift your waist. This will be great for breathing. You'll be able to feel more openness in your lungs. So your lung capacity will increase as you open the space between your ribs, as you stretch the intercostals, the muscles between them. And lifting here, and then the arm goes down. And the truth is that our regular lives, we do a lot more work forward and backward with our body and very little side bending. And we need to, our bodies need to move in every direction, all possible ways for full health. And then we're coming up, and we'll do this again. Coming up one more time. And then reaching over, body nice and fluid, like a willow tree's boughs just flowing in the breeze. And now we go over again. Do your side bend first. Lift your top arm up to the ceiling, look at your hand, and then we circle it through and under the armpit. Look behind you, and then follow the fingertips with your gaze up and back, open your chest. Get a little rotation through the ribs again, and then you're circling forward and under. The upper back stretches wide between the blades, and then you take it back, and now that space closes as you take that upper arm back. One more like this. Really reach into the space, like take up as much room in your area as you can. And last one, let's take it back. Lift it up, side bend over, lift your waist, and then we pull up to come upright and lower the arms down. All right, my darlings, I think we are good for today. So